vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namastraystamanamapi sachi puchamacha sarupam Rupam dashagnajam uruparamatoram gostavatam Radha kundam girivaram mahoradika madhavayasam Prapto yasha pratita kripaya shivarutanatosmi Gaurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah. Bande Guru Misha Bhakta Misha Vitam Tad Prakasham Tad Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam Chaitanya Charanam Bhoja Mukundalio Vijay Yesham Prashadam Atraina Paramapemo Bhavan Bhangam Lagayate Selam Mukhamavata Chutam Takripatamam Bande Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Dugami Patimandaja Skala Padagyatemo Swakripiyastidanena Shanta Shanta Valambanam Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhattu Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath H.I. Guru Karanjan Vandana Yahoite Vignanasa Vistaparan. Recently I was reading in the Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma, chapter 16, Pramaya, Jiva and Maya. In this chapter, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains how the living entity or the jiva leaves the spiritual world and comes to the material world. So we've all left Krishna's association. We have left of our own choice, of our own volition. We have left the spiritual world. And being unfit to live in the spiritual world, we come to the material world. Something like the desert. In the Bible we have the desert. So this is like the desert. And we're suffering in this material world. And yet we're the sons of Krishna. I say sons because spiritually there's no son or daughter. Spiritually we're all the children of Krishna. There's no daughter. We're all parts and parcels, and a part and parcel has no sex. Materially we may appear as men and women, but the soul is neither male nor female. Actually all souls are female, because all souls are meant for the enjoyment of the supreme male, and the supreme male is God. He's the supreme Purush. So in a greater sense we're all female. This would be quite interesting for the women's liberation. I think they'd get off on this, wouldn't they? Huh? We're all female. We're all female. We're all Prakriti. Prakriti means energy. And the energy is to be enjoyed by the Purush. And the Purush is God. There's one Purush. Who is that? Krishna. He's the one Purush. And how many living entities are there? You cannot count. Even to say billions and trillions is not correct, because there's unlimited living entities. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes very wonderfully how when Krishna sees the living beings suffering in Maya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this. When Lord Krishna, he describes the all-compassionate Lord Krishna, whose heart is overflowing with mercy, sees the living entities suffering in this material world due to their attachment to Maya. What is Maya? Illusion. then he chases after them, weeping and weeping, in order to reclaim them. He performs his wonderful pastimes. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the translation is, he chases after the living entities, weeping and weeping, trying to get us to come back like a very loving father. Because Krishna is perfect, if he takes the position of father, he's also perfect. So weeping and weeping, he chases after the living entity. This is wonderful to hear, that we have this affectionate friend, this affectionate father. Some of us may think of the Lord as our father, as our protector, as our maintainer. Others may think of the Lord as a friend. That depends on our disposition, depends on our particular mood. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives us example. The Lord chases after the living entity, weeping and weeping, and therefore he performs his pastimes in the material world. So when we hear about these pastimes of Krishna, we become attracted. That's why he performs this pastime of being Lord Damodar and running from Mother Yasoda. Yesterday was the last day of Kartik, and for the last day, every month, we've been celebrating, and many of you have been offering your lamps to Lord Damodar. So this pastime is very wonderful, where Lord Damodar plays with Mother Yasoda. So why Krishna performs these pastimes? And the one on Kurukshetra, where he's driving the chariot of Arjuna, and then the pastime of lifting Govardhan hill. Why does he perform these pastimes? Janma kama chame divyam evam yovati tattvataha. Anyone who appreciates my pastimes, anyone who understands my pastimes, even partially, does not take birth again in this material world. This is in Bhagavad Gita. Janma kama chame divyam evam yovati tattvataha taktva deha puna janmi naikima mati so Arjuna. My dear Arjuna, anyone who understands my janma, which means birth, and karma, which means activities, does not take birth again in this material world. So Krishna performs these wonderful pastimes. And you may be attracted towards particular pastimes. You may prefer the pastime of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill, or you might prefer the pastime of Lord Ramachandra fighting Ravana in order to reclaim his chaste and devoted wife Sita. Or you may like the pastime of Lord Krishna when he's Nrsingadev and he protects Bhakta Prahlad. Or you may be attracted towards the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya is Leela Purushottama, Prem Purushottama, He performs wonderful pastimes and reclaims all the conditioned souls. But this personality, Krishna, he is our creator. And he has created us. And our whole function and purpose is to serve the Creator. That is our natural position. Just like, what is the function of my hand? The function of my hand is to serve my body. By picking up the book, by picking up my water, by putting on my glasses, by picking up the prasad. The whole purpose of this little hand of mine is not to serve you, it's to serve me. It's part of me. This hand cannot enjoy by itself. It serves the body. Well, what is the purpose of the stomach? Can the stomach enjoy beans curry by itself? Can it have a good time with beans curry by itself? No, the purpose of the stomach is part of the body. It serves the whole. So our function is to serve God, our Creator. We were created by the Lord simply to serve Him. He is our Creator. We're only happy when we serve Him. And I think all of you can agree with that. You are happy when you serve the Lord. Chanting Krishna's name, performing puja, you are happy. And when you try to forget the Lord, you are not happy. So I wanted to read this section, very nice section, from Brihad Bhagavatamrita Volume 2, when Gop Kumar is in Vaikuntha and he meets Lord Narayan. After many lifetimes, after millions of lifetimes of forgetting the Lord, he's remembering the Lord. Now Gop Kumar is us. Sanatana Goswami writes about this personality called Gop Kumar. But this Gop Kumar can be taken as us. So we have been wandering around this material creation. So what happens to Gop Kumar when he meets Lord Narayan will also be similar to our mood when we meet the Lord. So, chapter 4, text 76. So apparently, Gop Kumar is in Vaikuntha. Now Gop Kumar's real position is in Vrindavan, and he worships Gopal Krishna, the cowhead boy. So he doesn't really belong in Vaikuntha. When he sees Lord Narayan, he doesn't really see Lord Narayan, he sees Gopal. Because of love. He's not really seeing Lord Narayan with 4 hands. He's seeing his beloved Gopal. But the attendants in Vaikuntha have warned him, now don't get too familiar with Lord Narayan. Be careful what you call him. Don't call him Gopal. Don't call him Krishna. Don't talk about childhood pastimes and Mother Yasoda and running in the forest and all this stuff. No, you must praise him as the Lord of Lords, the Super Soul, the Paramatma, the Lord of Vaikuntha, the majestic Lord. So they're preaching to him that he must be careful when Gop Kumar meets Lord Narayan. You understand? So text 76. The fullness of the ecstasy this sight brought on me made me forget what the attendants of the Lord had instructed me. In other words, Gop Kumar saw the Lord. As soon as he saw the Lord, he forgot what the attendants had told him to behave himself. I cried out again and again and said, "Oh Gopal, my life and soul," and I ran forward to embrace the Lord. Like a cowherd boy. Krishna's running, Gop Kumar's running forward. Some of the attendants who were standing at the Lord's side held me back, and I was heartbroken, so they held him back. I cried in helpless distress again and again, overcome by my own excessive love, and I fell unconscious in front of the Lord. So he was held back, and then he fell unconscious in front of Lord Narayan. With some effort, those attendants lifted me up, and after some time I regained consciousness. I wiped away with my hands the flood of tears that blocked my sight, and with difficulty I finally opened my eyes. So he was weeping and weeping and weeping, but out of ecstasy. There's 2 types of crying: when the tears are hot and when the tears are cold. When the tears are cold, it's out of happiness. You feel very content. And when your tears are hot, it's out of distress. It means you're feeling great separation from Krishna. So your heart is burning with distress. Both can be there in spiritual life. It's described when Radharani is separated from Krishna, not only are her tears, they burn out of separation, but even her body begins to burn, and her body becomes so hot that her bangles are burnt. She wears bangles, and the bangles are heated up and burnt. And her breath becomes hot, and it burns. This is described in one of the Goswami books. out of separation for Krishna. And then they tried to cool her body by chandan. What's chandan? Sandalwood pulp. And they cover her body with sandalwood pulp, but it simply flakes off because her body is adoration for Krishna. So with some effort, those attendants lifted me up, and after consciousness, I wiped away with my hands the flood of tears that blocked my sight, and with difficulty I finally opened my eyes. Then I heard the Lord, the best of merciful persons, tell me in a deep, gentle voice, "O Gop Kumar, please come back to your senses, dear boy. Come here quickly." Can you imagine hearing the voice of God? Wouldn't it be nice to hear Krishna's voice, to hear the Lord speak? Could you imagine what it sounds like to hear the voice of God and He's speaking to you? Prabhupada said the goal of life is to eat with the Supreme Lord. The goal of life is to dance with the Supreme Lord. The goal of life is to play with the Supreme Lord and live with the Supreme Lord. And today I was playing a tape, and Prabhupada said, the goal of life is to talk with the Supreme Lord. Talk with Him. Directly talk with Him. Prabhupada was talking about the Super Soul, Hrishikesh. To talk with the Supreme Lord. You can talk directly with the Lord. Instead of talking with your wife and husband, you can talk with the Lord. Which will you choose? The wife. So you can talk directly with Krishna. So he said, the Lord said, "Please come back to your senses, dear boy. Please come here quickly." Gop Kumar then felt the highest limit of joy. He danced all around as if seized by madness and stumbled about. And with great endeavor, the Lord's servants calmed me down, and at last I awakened from that trance. So he was mad with love, mad with ecstasy. And the attendants of Lord Narayan cooled him down, told him to sit down. The Supreme Lord said, "Welcome, welcome, swagatam, swagatam. Welcome, welcome, my dear boy. I am so fortunate." The Lord is saying, "I am so fortunate. I am most fortunate to meet you. For so long I have been eager to see you." So Krishna is saying how I am fortunate. God is saying how I am fortunate. "My dear friend," the Lord said, "you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking, perhaps in this lifetime he will come, or this lifetime, or this lifetime, or this lifetime. He will finally turn his face towards me." So unmukha. Unmukha means turn your face towards Krishna. Vimukha means you turn your face away from God. So the Lord is saying, I was hoping, in what lifetime will you again become my devotee? Will it be this lifetime, or this lifetime, or this lifetime, or this lifetime? So in the same way, the Lord is thinking, my devotee living in South Africa, in Phoenix, will it be this lifetime, or this lifetime, or this lifetime? When will he or she, when will my devotee turn their face again towards me? Unmukha. When will they become my devotee? When will they get initiated? When will they follow the principles and chant every day? When will they come up to Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav and Prem? This is how the Lord is thinking. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking, the Lord is saying, thinking, perhaps in this lifetime, or this lifetime, or this lifetime, or this lifetime, he will finally turn his face towards me. Now, the Lord says, I could find no pretense on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself have created. So in other words, now, I want to read this. Sanatana Goswami says, in Gop Kumar's previous life, Gop Kumar had never chanted the name of Narayan, even unintentionally or in jest. What does that mean? Namabas. Namabas means you chant the name of God unintentionally, by mistake, or out of fun. Just like we say Hyperama. Namabas. So if you chant the name, even unintentionally, then you've called out the name of Krishna. That's good. But apparently, Gop Kumar never even did that. In your previous lives, Sanatana says, Sanatana Goswami, in previous lives, Gop Kumar had never chanted the names of Lord Narayan, even unintentionally or even in jest. Had he at least vibrated a shadow of the Lord's name, that means Namabas, the Lord could have delivered him like Ajamil. So apparently this person, Gop Kumar, in his previous lives, had never engaged in any type of devotional service. But Krishna wanted to reclaim him. But now, according to the laws of karma, Gop Kumar did not deserve to be reclaimed. So the translation is, I could find no pretense on which to bring you to my abode, Vaikuntha, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself have created. Krishna himself has created the law of karma. He's created law, cause and effect. He can't change that law. He can't break that law. You understand? So Gop Kumar didn't deserve to come in contact with Krishna. Why? Because in a previous life, he had not engaged in any type of devotional service. Dear boy, translation, dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru, known as the name Jayanta. So it seems that when Gop Kumar took birth, the Lord interfered. The Lord interfered with his karma and gave him the blessings for no reason at all to take birth in Govardhan and then incarnated as his guru and initiated him. So Sanatana Goswami says, the Supreme Lord interfered with Gop Kumar's karma by making Gop Kumar take birth in Govardhan Hill. So the Lord can interfere with your karma. It may be that you don't deserve to come to the Phoenix temple, to chant Hare Krishna, to come in contact with Prabhupada, to take prasad. It can be like that. But Krishna can interfere with your karma and allow you to take birth in a devotee family. He can allow you to come to a temple. He can allow you to give a donation to a book distributor, take some of Prabhupada's books. He can allow you to meet a pure devotee like I was allowed to meet Srila Prabhupada. So Krishna can interfere with your karma. And this is what he does. And he did it with Gop Kumar, and he did it with all of you also. This is how we think. We shouldn't think, oh, I'm a devotee in this lifetime because in my past lifetime I was very pious. I'm a pretty advanced soul. We shouldn't think like that. We should think ourselves to be very fallen. And our position now, sitting on the floor in Phoenix Temple, is that I am the recipient of Krishna's mercy. Krishna interfered with my karma. He didn't have to. Why did he interfere with your karma and not millions of other people's karma? Causeless mercy. There's no reason. You can't say it's causeless. Causeless means there is no reason. So when you think like this, it makes you appreciate the Kripa Shakti of Lord Krishna. What is Kripa Shakti? Unlimited mercy. Ashesha Kripa, Shakti. The unlimited, Ashesha, Kripa, mercy, Shakti, potency of the Lord. You become astonished at how merciful Krishna is. This is a secondary ras. It's called Abhuta. Abhuta ras or Chamatkara. Chamatkara or Adbhuta ras. Adbhuta ras is a secondary ras. There's 5 primary, there's 7 secondary. And one of the secondary rases is astonishment. And astonishment is the basis of ras. Because you have to be very astonished how beautiful is Krishna, or how strong is Krishna, or how merciful is Krishna. So in this case, we're talking about the mercy of Krishna. This whole talk, I'm concentrating on the mercy of the Lord. So when you hear how merciful Krishna is, then you become astonished. That's amazing. And this is called Abhuta ras. Abhuta ras. Astonishment. It's a Gauna ras, secondary. Mukhya means primary, Gauna means secondary. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote what I originally said, that the Lord chases after the jiva. You are the jivas. Jiva means living entities. The Lord chases after the living entities, weeping and weeping, trying to deliver you. So isn't that amazing? Ashesha, Abhuta, Ashesha, Kripa Shakti. The unlimited mercy and compassion of the Lord. Then when we hear about this, we become astonished. This is very enlivening to hear about. So how the Lord, I'll read the whole purport by Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami says, the Lord does not interfere with the independence of the rebellious jiva. First of all, he says he does not. But then after 2 lines, he says he does. The Lord does not interfere with the independence of the rebellious jiva. He mostly leaves the responsibility for reforming the jiva to the scriptures, the Vedas. But ultimately, it is His mercy that saves the conditioned soul. The Supreme Lord interfered with Gop Kumar's karma by making Gop Kumar take birth at Govardhan Hill. So there you have it. The Lord interfered with the independence, allowed him to take birth in Govardhan. So the Lord also interfered with your karma and allowed you to come in contact with Srila Prabhupada. He allowed you to chant Krishna's name. He's allowed you to chant, to read Srila Prabhupada's books. We didn't actually deserve this. This is how we should think. We didn't really deserve this. Just like many other living entities. Living out there in Chatsworth and Phoenix and Durban and Kwamashu and living in the Indian Ocean. There's different types of living entities. And they're completely covered by Maya, the illusionary energy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes the first type of living entity is completely covered. There's 7 kinds. We'll go over each one briefly. The first one is totally covered. And that is trees, creepers, bushes. They're totally covered. They can't walk. They can't talk. They don't defend themselves. Even eating, sleeping, mating and defending is difficult to see. Like you see a tree. Do you see a tree defending? Do you see a tree sleeping? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending? Does a tree have sex? So with the covered living entities, even the activity of eating, sleeping, mating and defending is difficult to see. And then the next stage is partially covered. Partially covered are the animals, the birds, dogs, cats, cows, monkeys. They eat, they sleep, they mate and they defend. You can see these activities. So those are partially covered. And then you come partially developed. The third one, partially developed living entities are the immoral atheists and the moral atheists. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Just like my father. He's a moral atheist. Bless his soul. May he rest in peace. So help him God. He's a moral, because he thinks he's a moral person. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't lie. But he's an atheist. So you've got immoral atheists like Ravana, Kamsa. And you've got moral atheists. So those are partially developed. And then you've got developed living entities. And developed living entities are pious theists and those who practice sadhana bhakti. So you are all practicing sadhana bhakti. All of you are practicing sadhana bhakti. Whether you're initiated or whether you're not, you're on the path of sadhana bhakti. And then the next category is fully developed. And the fully developed living entity is on the stage of bhava bhakti. But even though one is on the stage of bhava bhakti, he is still, or she is still, a conditioned soul. One is only fully liberated when you come to the level of prema. So we have a long way to go. So all different types of living entities, but generally they live according to their karma. You take birth as a pig, you take birth as a cat or a dog or a human being according to your past karma. But Krishna can interfere with your karma. And you can be an animal but take birth in Vrindavan. You can be an animal and take birth in Mayapur. He can allow you to take birth in Sridham Mayapur or Vrindavan as a human being. He can allow you to take birth in South Africa as a human being and allow you to come in contact with Krishna consciousness. I give the example many times. There was one man, and he was a doctor actually at R.K. Khan's. So every day he drives past R.K. Khan's to the hospital. Right? He sees the temple. Every day he drives past the temple because he goes to R.K. Khan's hospital. He's a medical practitioner there. And every day for 10 years, so probably 320 days a year, so 3,200 times going and coming, 6,500 times going and coming, he sees Radharadhana temple. He never went in. After 10 years, he decided, let me go in. Krishna interfered with his karma. Krishna dictated to him as the super soul. The Dami Buddhi Yoguntam, the Lord in the heart. Krishna told him, look, you stupid living entity. You've gone past the temple every day for 10 years. Now just slow down a minute. Take a right turn, take another right turn, and go into the temple. And see what they're doing. See what that big building is about. See what all those pictures that you see from the road are all about. Have a look at that temple. So he went. And now, of course, he's a devotee, chanting so many rounds every day. So many of us were like this. Many of us were like this. There was one man who was in Canada, and the devotees used to go street chanting. So this man used to heckle the devotees. Oh, you waste of time. Oh, you nonsenses. Oh, why don't you get a job and do a good day's work in your life? And this was this is what he used to do. He used to wait for the devotees. He used to sit in the park, and then they'd come past in the park, chanting Krishna's name with the cartels and drums, and then he'd heckle them. Oh, you do this, you, good for nothing, like that. And then after a few months, the devotees started going to another park. So this man, he couldn't heckle the devotees anymore because they stopped coming to the park. So he went to the temple and he said, where all you devotees gone to? I've been looking for you. You know I had to heckle you, and now you've gone. He says, anyhow, I'll take some prasad. Sat down and took some prasad. So he got attached to the devotees. See? And then he went looking for them, but in a nice way. So Krishna interferes with your karma. This is very wonderful. So we are independent, but Krishna sometimes interferes with our independence. And he gives us a little push in the right way. So what did he do with Gop Kumar? First of all, he said, Gop Kumar, take birth in Braj. Now that's pretty good. A birth in Braj is better than a birth in Phoenix. A birth in Vrindavan is better than a birth in Vrindavan Heights in Velam. There's a whole area in Velam called Vrindavan, right? Begins with a B. So not only did he take birth in Vrindavan, but he met the Lord incarnated. The Lord appeared. Sometimes there are incarnations of the Lord the scriptures talk about. The Lord appears as Nrsimhadev and Matsya and Kurama, Mahaprabhu, Vishnu, Narayan. But there are other incarnations we don't know about. So apparently the Lord incarnated as a Brahmin called Jayanta. And Jayanta was a Brahmin. And this Brahmin, Jayanta, started preaching as a guru to Gop Kumar and initiated him. So Gop Kumar's guru was actually God himself. So that's how much Jayanta wanted to save the living entity. So the Lord will go to any extent to save the lost living entities. That's us. So when we think about this mercy and kindness from Krishna, then our heart also melts, is it not? And we also begin to weep. So not only is the Lord weeping, but his devotee is also weeping. And this is bhakti. Bhakti means the heart is softened. Mama vati shikantita. Masrana swantato. Samyam masrato swanto. Bhava eva sandrama. That the heart becomes very soft. This is bhakti. Bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyan. Bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga is the greatest treasure. Bhakti yoga means weeping while chanting the Lord's holy name. Like Govinda Maharaj said about his temple in Orissa, Bhubaneswar. He said, I've opened a weeping temple, a weeping school. I'm teaching you how to weep. The residents of Vrindavan are weeping. So weeping out of appreciation for how kind is Krishna, how beautiful is Krishna, how attractive is Krishna, and especially how merciful is Krishna. So not only is Krishna weeping, chasing after the jivas, but we're also weeping. And this is the bhakti. Bhakti means the heart becomes so soft that when you chant Krishna's name, there is weeping. So this is a very nice thing to meditate on. When you're chanting Krishna's name, you should meditate on how the Lord is chasing after us, weeping and weeping and weeping and weeping. And how he's going to so much trouble to deliver us. But still, we get caught up with Maya, is it not? We get caught up with our children and family and wife, and then the one-eyed guru. What's the one-eyed guru? TV, days of your life. What else? You know, ladies. What else? I don't even know. The Hindi movies. Maya comes along. Maya comes along, the illusory energy. And we get too much caught up. We can't go to the Phoenix Temple on Sunday. Why? There's a wedding in the family. Got to go to the wedding. Of course, some weddings we do have to go to just to show our face. But I'm just giving the principle. Too busy to chant Krishna's name. Why? Too busy working. I have my factory job. I have my whatever it is, job professional. Too busy. Too busy. Just sorry, God. Just you have to wait a minute, God. Too busy. Just sit on the back burner. Hold it a second. Too busy making money, looking after the family, children, keeping fit, reading newspaper, whatever it is. Too busy. And yet Krishna is going out of his way, weeping and weeping, chasing after us. And we're loitering here in the material world. We're loitering. We're hanging around, loitering. It's like you go in a toilet and you loiter around in the toilet. You're mad. Isn't it? Someone who goes around and loiters around in a toilet. I mean, either they're mad or funny. There's something suspect about them. So as far as we're concerned, there's something suspect about all of us. And there's something very funny about all of us, because we're loitering around in the material world. And we don't want to leave the material world. We want to keep one foot here. Just keep one foot in the material world and one foot in the Hare Krishna movement. I'm not fully ready to surrender. Isn't it? I've got one foot in the material world and one foot in the Hare Krishna movement. Just in case the Hare Krishna movement is not the real thing. Just in case Krishna is not really God, I still got one foot in the material world. But that won't do. Full surrender is required. Like Draupadi. She lifted one hand. But that didn't do. She had to lift both hands. And then the full surrender, Krishna came. So this statement by Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very nice. When the Supreme Lord sees the living entity suffering in this material world due to him being absorbed in Maya, the Supreme Lord chases after the living entity, weeping and performs his pastimes with the idea that the pastimes will attract the living entity. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes on to say, but unfortunately the living entity still misunderstands the Lord's pastimes. Therefore the Lord appears in Navadvip as the Supreme Guru. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Supreme Guru is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he tries again to save everyone. So this is the Supreme Lord that we're worshipping. Prabhupada says he's not a stagnant, stereotype block. He's a dynamic force. He's very dynamic, very lovable. And he's chasing after us. And we're like being bewitched. Pichasas. What's Pichasa? Witch. And there's two witches. One is the witch of Bhoga, material enjoyment, and the other is the witch of Mukti, or liberation. The desire for material enjoyment and the desire for liberation are like two Pichasas, two witches. And we are bewildered. We are possessed. So we have to come to our senses and recognize that we have the supreme friend, Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Gau Premanandi. Question number 1. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada always stressed that we are interested in that Krishna who is in Vrindavan, i.e. Krishna the coward boy, Govinda. Does this mean that Krishna in Dwarka is different in any sense? Maybe potency-wise. Thank you. So, the person has answered the question very nicely. Krishna reveals different potencies. So potency-wise, these different incarnations of Krishna are different. And we give you the example. Krishna in Vrindavan, different from Krishna in Dwarka. What is the difference? 4 things. These are described by Rupa Goswami. First of all, Krishna in Vrindavan plays a flute. It's called Venu Madhuya. Madhuya means the sweetness of Krishna's flute. Krishna in Dwarka does not have a flute. Secondly, Rupa Madhuya. The form of Krishna in Vrindavan is more beautiful than the form of Krishna in Dwarka, although they're the same. Krishna in Dwarka has 4 hands. Then, Leela Madhuya. Krishna has loving pastimes in Vrindavan that he doesn't have in Dwarka. He has pastimes in Dwarka, but he doesn't lift Govardhan Hill and do Rasa Leela. Did you ever hear of Krishna doing Rasa Leela with his wives? It's different. In Dwarka, Krishna gets henpecked. sometimes. He got henpecked by Satyabhama, by Rukmini. Both wanted Parijata flower, and he had to go and get them Parijata flower and Parijata plant. So he's playing the part of being a perfect husband. And part of that, my dear sirs, is to be henpecked. You've got to play the part. But the Bhagavatam explains how you react when you're henpecked. Do you know this? There's a verse in the Bhagavatam that when the family members and the wife come and they tell you, you must do this, you must do that, outwardly you should say, yes dear, and inwardly you forget about it. This is in the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam says it. That outwardly you go, yes, very important, yes, very important. But inwardly you just forget about it. And that's one translation in the Bhagavatam, in the 7th canto. So, Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, Leela Madhurya, and Prema Madhurya. Prema Madhurya means Krishna has wonderful associates like Mother Yasoda and the gopis. Now, Krishna also has wonderful associates in Dwarka, but they don't have so much love for him as in Vrindavan. Could you explain how the times for Ekadashi fast are calculated? No, unfortunately I don't really know. Because we work according to the moon calendar, it's different. Lunar and solar are different. So the day starts when the sun rises. The day ends, that following day ends when the following sun has risen. The day is not from midnight to midnight. The day is from when the sun rises. So technically, on Ekadashi you could even get up very early in the morning and take grains. But then you would also have grains in your stomach during Ekadashi, which is also not really recommended. So we just stick to how Prabhupada told us. And the times for breaking Ekadashi are calculated. Mathematical, astrological calculations are an important part of, secondary part of the Vedic rituals that we follow. But I'm not aware of exactly how it's calculated. When Mother Yasoda goes to Kurukshetra to meet Krishna, is the tears that flow from her eyes hot or cold? Thank you, Maharaj. Well, I'll have to wait till I get there. Well, just use your intelligence that God gave you. Your God-given gift, intelligence. Mother Yasoda, what mood is she feeling when she sees Krishna? She's feeling separation. She wants Krishna. So if she's feeling separation, the tears are hot. But if she's feeling great happiness seeing Krishna, her tears are cold. But she's seeing Krishna, but is she able to embrace him and kiss him? No. So therefore she's still feeling separation. Anubhavs of Vatsalya Ras, the types of things that Mother Yasoda do, is she smells Krishna's head, she embraces his body, she kisses him on different parts of his body, she blesses him, she calls out his name very loudly. These are the Anubhavs of Vatsalya Ras. So Mother Yasoda is at Kurukshetra, and you have millions of soldiers, elephants, cavalry, Krishna's 16,000 queens are there, Vasudeva and Devaki are there. It's very difficult for Mother Yasoda to grab hold of Krishna and to start smelling his head and smothering him with kisses. So from that we could say that Mother Yasoda was feeling separation. If she's feeling separation, her tears would be very hot. I would just like to say that the Hare Krishna movement has done a wonderful job in making me proud of my Indian Hindu heritage. Mother India, abounds in spiritual knowledge. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're trying to present the original Indian culture. So therefore we're Orthodox Hindus. We're Hindus, but we call ourselves very Orthodox. And we're going back to the original vegetarianism, worship of Krishna, respecting the demigods, of course. But we don't worship the demigods as God, etc. Why there is no large picture of Krishna on the altar, new devotee? Yes, it's a good question. But there is a picture of Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya is the most important incarnation of Krishna in this age. So that picture, that middle person with his hands in the air, that is Lord Chaitanya. Radha Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Lord Chaitanya is not just Krishna, but Radha and Krishna combined together. So Lord Chaitanya is the Kali, the Yuga avatar. He's the avatar for this age. And to get to Lord Krishna, you have to go through Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. But shortly, when I say shortly, in a few years, we will be installing deities, and there's every chance it will be Radha and Krishna, just like in the Chatsworth temple. Krishna is our prime deity that we worship. Is material activities only referred to as karma? Karma, K-A-R-M-A, K-A-M-A means lust. Karma means lust. But K-A-R-M-A means action and reaction. This means material activities, as against spiritual activities. Spiritual activities means bhakti. This is what we're trying to engage in, bhakti. Love and devotion for Krishna. And karma, K-A-R-M-A, means action and reactions as material world. It means fruitive. You're working for your own gain. What can I get out of this activity? What enjoyment can I derive? Bhakti is what pleasure can I give to Krishna. Discussions on God or Krishna relating to Krishna's pastimes, like Mother Yasoda chasing God with a stick, or Krishna is glad to see someone. This seems far-fetched to the new devotee listening. How can we make these devotees relate to these discussions? Yes, to understand the Lord's pastimes is not easy. It's not easy. So therefore, even if you understand partially, you make spiritual advancement. Jamma kama chame divyam. Even if you can't understand the Lord's pastimes fully. But even if you understand partially, that's good enough. You can get liberated. So it's not an easy thing to understand the Lord's pastimes. But by the mercy of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, we're gradually beginning to understand. Isn't your father fortunate to have a son like you? I don't know. I'll have to ask him that one. He's not very interested in God. When he was about 18 or something, he became an atheist. And he went to Cambridge University and studied political science and history. So I never talked to him about God because he usually gets a little bit angry. But my mother is warming up. And luckily my mother is able to control my father. Which is usually the scenario, is it not? Husband is henpecked. So I see my father's also somewhat controlled. So my mother went to India, but my father refused to go. My mother's coming to South Africa, my father didn't come. Maybe in the future he may come. We take him prasad. What he likes is gatiya. So I get the devotees to cook that, shabda, salty. He likes that salty. And then I offer it to Krishna. And then I say, Dad, I cooked this. And you should taste it, see what it's like. And then he tastes it, he eats it, and he likes it. So he's taking prasad. He gives donation. So this is called a Gyata Sukriti. Unknowingly he's making advancement. Is Krishna merciful to anyone, or do you have to earn your mercy through pious activities? No, Krishna can be merciful to anyone. If the mercy of Krishna is dependent on anything, then you can't say it's causeless. And the mercy of Krishna is definitely not dependent on pious activities. You can be pious, it doesn't mean you get the mercy of the Lord. Was Jagai and Madai pious? How they weren't pious, but they got the mercy of the Lord. So being pious, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that when Krishna incarnates, does anything material cause him to incarnate? No. He incarnates when he wants. Nothing material causes him to incarnate. So devotional service is non-different from Krishna. So when devotional service incarnates, when bhakti incarnates into your heart, nothing material can bring it. Nothing material can make Krishna appear in this material world. He appears whenever he wants. Bhakti is non-different from Krishna. So when bhakti appears in your heart, it is not due to anything material. It just appears. It's causeless. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives those examples in Madhya Kandambini. So last question. Should we give prasadam to one who disrespects prasadam and or throws and or thinks prasadam is ordinary food? If you're going to give prasad to someone and you know they're going to throw it away, then better you don't give it to them. But if they don't know it's prasadam, like my father, no harm. There's even more reason to give it to them, isn't it? So the best thing you can do for your family members, all of you have many family members, take some Mahaprasad, especially offered to Radha Radhanath, Lord Chaitanya, give it to them. Your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your second cousins, your third cousins, the family dog, cat, bird. Give them Mahaprasad. You can tell them, you cooked it, it's a white lie, doesn't matter, anything. Sometimes if you tell them it's prasad, they won't eat it, because they think there's some magic inside it or something. And by taking it, they'll lose all their hair, and they'll go crazy, and start jumping up and down like us. So sometimes you can't tell them it's blessed food. So the best thing we can do for our family members, neighbors, like on Janmashtami, you take Mahaprasad from the temple, or you cook, and you offer to the Lord. And you go to your neighbors, even if they're Christians or Muslims, and you give them sweets. Or on Diwali, use that festival, Diwali, as an excuse to cook nice prasad, sweets, offer to Krishna, and go and give it to them. Or if they like beans curry, go and give them beans curry. But just give them some prasad. And this is a nice way to preach. So any other questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gau Premanandi. So there's a few announcements, and then we'll have a short kirtan.
There's a seminar, book distribution seminar that will be done for a great Ramsitamanji and Rasa Studies which we had on the 23rd morning, Sunday morning. It's a 3-hour seminar. It starts at 9, finishes at 12. So we'd like to invite all the devotees to try and attend the seminar, book distribution. There's also very active that is just prior to our marathon, which starts at the end of this month. So this If you go to please make note that if you are going to come, please give your name on the book table so that we can make arrangements for silence and refreshments like that. And also, especially those who understand the idea also please come very nice. The other one is that the Holiness of God very much, you're right.